hairstylist in the building today. She stopped by the studios, and I'm just so excited to introduce her because, like I said, this girl right here is very creative. She's very particular, and she's very precise about the hair industry. So today, this is my cousin, y'all. So she's gonna give us the game, like on the hair industry and how she got the hair industry on lock. The one and only Slay by Dre.
Hey y'all, my name is Andrea. I'm the owner of Slay by Drea. I am a 23-year-old hairstylist. I've been in the hair industry for about 5 to 6 years. I started when I was in high school, and it's just been my thing. It comes naturally, you know.
So I remember that, since you bringing up high school, I remember y'all, I was going to Jones High School in Orlando, Florida. She was going to Olympia High School. And one day we was just on the phone, and she was like, I'm gonna do hair. And I was like, you gonna do hair, Drea? You know, you need to start now. There's girls right now that's doing hair like at home. And she was like, nah, don't worry, I'm gonna do hair. I'm gonna do celebrity hair. And I think who you was admiring at the time? Was it Kendra?
Me.
Me in high school, it was me. Okay, so Mean Lee, shout out to Mean Lee, Atlanta hairstylist and shop owner. But yeah, I remember she was telling me like, I'm gonna do celebrity hairstyles and I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna be popping. So both our moms, my mom and her mom, both did hair in the past. My mom and her mom are sisters. So when she told me, I'm like, yeah, it may come natural, you know, to her, but I'm just like, Andrea, you gotta start now. And at that time, I don't even think you was in cosmetology school. So what like really made you say, I'm gonna do it and I'm going to cosmetology school and I'm gonna be in high school at the same time I attend cosmetology school?
Well, truth be told, when I was in high school, I was almost about to graduate. I really was not interested in like any other career. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do, as a lot of high schoolers do go through that stage where they don't know what they want to do when they graduated. And it gets like very nerve-wracking,
yeah,
because you got to enter the real world.
Yeah.
So I just knew I knew how to do hair. So I always knew I had like the natural talent of doing it. Like it wasn't nothing I was like forcing myself to do. So I think I was like in 11th or 12th grade when I started off at tech school. And then I finished off tech school like the rest of the 2 years after I graduated, or it was 1 or 2 years. But
yeah.
Finished tech school, I was shadowing this lady named Nicole. Shout out to Nicole.
Yeah.
I was shadowing her for a good amount of time, and she kind of like taught me a few things about weave. And after that, I just kind of took off and I just did my own thing.
So, okay, when you was working with Nicole, how long before you knew, like, okay, it's more for me. I'm done with just shadowing. Now it's time for me to actually branch out, go get my own clientele, and just stop being an assistant in the shadow.
Yeah.
Like, what was that transition like for you?
It was hard because I've always been like a very not so open person. So when you're in that industry, you kind of have to open up more in order to get your clients. And this was the time where it was like I wasn't on Instagram too much, like but I guess I utilized Instagram the best of my ability, and I just got my clientele through there. And
your work was just
my work was speaking for itself. So you know, I jumped into doing frontals. Because at first I started off doing braids, and I knew I didn't want to do braids. It was just something to do, something to make money with.
But she was real good at doing braids, y'all.
But then I got to the point where I was like, let me start trying to learn how to do weaves. That's what the girls were more into at the time. So I stopped doing braids, went into doing weave, like, you know, sew-ins and stuff. And I got better and better, and just went from there.
Yeah, so given the fact that you said you got into weaves, eventually you were doing braids, but you realized that more people were like inquiring about weaves, so supply and demand.
Yeah.
This channel right here is for entrepreneurs and the person that want to go out and actually get in and become their own boss. So in terms of supply and demand, you saw that it was a demand for weaves, so you branched into that avenue. How important is it for you to stay updated with the trends? Like, I know we went from natural sew-ins with leave-outs to frontals, then from to closures, then from closures to frontals. now we back from lace frontals back to natural leave out. So like, how important is it to you to stay updated with the trends in the hair industry, and how is it marketable for you? Because I know if the supply is higher, then you can acquire more money. So how do you do that? Like, how do you maintain? How do you stay updated with the latest trends?
Like I said before, Instagram. It's really just Instagram. Like, I feel like when it's a wave, it's like everybody jumps on the wave at one time. There's few people out there that don't jump back on the wave, but a lot of people do the same things. You know, when they see a celebrity doing something, they're gonna all want to do that one thing. So when the frontals did come about, it was like, let me get to learning how to do that. And it just, you know, I'm just kind of glad that it's going. It's like a never-ending cycle.
But what is that?
What it is. Like, it's a never-ending cycle, because like you said, we used to do leave outs back then. Then we went to, you know, nothing with our hair left out.
Yeah.
And now we're back to the leave out.
But what is the learning process? So like, do you educate yourself by taking classes with like professional, more experienced hairstylists in order to learn the process of how to do it? Like, I know So Arrogant Tay in Atlanta. Yeah. Everybody knows So Arrogant Tay. He's really big, really popular hairstylist. And he specialized in frontals, HD frontals. A lot of people didn't even know he was using HD frontals. They thinking he just using regular frontals. So at the time when people just doing regular frontals, they like, why am I not coming out like So Arrogant Tay? Right. But when in reality, it was an HD frontal. So how do you learn that tip? How do you learn that?
I guess like looking at different people that know about weave, and learning those things from them, like people that actually know what they're talking about, know what they're doing, and you can see their work actually speaks for itself. I used to be doing, like, when I did start out with frontals, I mean, it kind of like, there was no HD lace at all, so it started to transition to HD, like being a big thing. I guess when it first came out, it was like really expensive, and it gets higher and higher as time goes by, but it's really important that you do use the right lace and get the right hair, because you do want that flawless look. You don't want to just be using like anything like raggedy hair or whatever, cheap hair, and then you're expecting it to look like that, and you don't get the right material for it.
So in terms of cheap hair, since we're entering the stage of talking about hair now, we know that you sell quality hair, which is Slay by Dre. You can get that on slaybydre.com. How do you go about finding your vendors? So for my girls out there that's actually watching this video that want to sell hair, or probably is selling hair but don't have the best vendor right now, how do you go about searching for a vendor and actually researching them and like staying in communication with them? How do you go about that?
Okay, so I feel like the best way of finding a vendor is going to actually be going in person.
Going in person?
That's the best way. But if you are not able to go to China or wherever else you're getting the hair from, you have to be very particular about like who you're, like the conversation that you're having with the vendor is important. The way they communicate is important. The pictures they send, like you have to pay attention to the consistency of the pictures. Like sometimes you're gonna see pictures that are like from whoever, like it's a female that they just took a picture off of Instagram and they're using it. Those are most of the time those are the vendors that are just like selling anything. You just can't trust them. But if you have like a vendor that is consistent with their pictures and you can go on their site and you can actually see like they're selling this legit hair from their own warehouse and they're not just selling anything, those are the ones that you know you can trust. But I kind of got lucky when I found my vendor, because I don't know, I think I had like an eye for hair. Like I already knew what good hair was because I was working with somebody that taught me how the difference is between the hair, like the hair grades and all of that. So I didn't have to go through that hard process of let me order hair from here and let me order hair from there, and then I have to test it out in person. I think I ordered like maybe 1 or 2 vendors before I found the right vendor.
Okay.
Um,
And in terms of finding those vendors, how exactly do you do it? Do you communicate with them through WhatsApp,
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook?
You could WhatsApp. You could find some on Instagram. There's some people out there that actually do it for you. You have people that's on Instagram and they actually sell you vendors, so you don't have to go looking for a vendor. You could just buy the vendor from their vendor list.
Right.
But yeah, when you do want to find your own vendor and you want to be like particular and not have the vendor that everybody else has, you just go on WhatsApp, or not WhatsApp, but you can go on WhatsApp, but there's many different wholesale websites that you can go on, and you just got to be very you just have to be very strategic about the words you're putting in when you're searching and looking for. It's not very easy, but if you do know good hair, you're gonna know when you're looking at good hair. You're gonna know that that's the vendor for you.
Okay, that's great. That's awesome. So, given the fact that you found your vendor on your own, no help, you didn't branch out to like a third party in order to find your vendor, what was it like receiving shipments? Because I know some vendors, they may send in shipments, and your first batch of shipments may be like the samples. They may be great, spectacular hair, and then once you go to ordering, you know, you're not getting that same quality that you were receiving when you got your sample pieces. So how exactly was it for you? Like, were you receiving good samples and you receiving good hair in return? Or was it a process? Like, okay, he gave me good samples or she gave me good samples, but I didn't get good batches, so now I need to move on to the next vendor. Like, what was the process? How did you transition through that?
Honestly, that was not hard for me. Like I said, when I got lucky when I found my vendor, because they've been on it from the jump. Even when COVID happened and everybody was going through it, it was a wave of like, people were just like having a hard time shipping out hair, and we weren't even getting the hair on time like we usually do.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, my vendor just has always been on top of everything. Like, usually I have express shipping, so my vendor will usually send it out to me through FedEx for like 2 to 3 days. That's automatic. There's nothing later than that, but ever since COVID, it has been a delay.
So, shipments.
Yeah, but
yeah, so I was going to reach.
The hair has been on point, like from day one, and I feel like it's gotten better.
Okay.
So
during COVID-19, we all know everybody suffered from probably like a financial hardship during that time. How was it for you? How did your business survive COVID-19? Were your sales maintained, or was your sales like delayed?
I thought that it was gonna be everybody, because they had us on lockdown for like a whole month. Was it a whole month? It was a long time before we could actually go back to work. And I want to say it was a whole month before we went back to work. So I was out of business for a whole month, was not doing hair. That's the only career that I've ever had, doing hair. And it was annoying. Like, not making money, that's just like, that stresses you out. But the good thing about it is, I thought when we get back to work, it was gonna be like, okay, people are not gonna be coming to you as much as they were before, because everybody pretty much was out of work, so now they gotta get their money back up.
Yeah. And
they were back at the shop like the next day, like
ready to get their hair
high
done.
in demand when it came to that, because they were all ready to get their hair done. So it was never a delay. Like, after we got back to work, it was like we were booked up,
Right.
like crazy. So it was good for me.
So being that you do work in the shop and that the shop was down for a month during that time frame, how was it selling hair online? Like, were you still fulfilling orders, or how was it?
I was still fulfilling orders, but it was just like a little bit more difficult because of the delay. Like I said, they weren't as fast as they needed to be. And you know, some people expect their hair to be there when they order it like 3 days later.
Yeah.
And some people aren't understanding, and they just, you know, they don't want to go through that waiting process. So that's what it was.
So you actually touched on something just a minute ago. You said that doing hair was your only job, so you never experienced unemployment until you were out of work, that 1 week in the shop. So how is that? Like, I just want to speak for my entrepreneurs out there, my young entrepreneurs, or the people that's out there that's trying to become entrepreneurs. How is that transitioning from high school to now jumping into your own building, jumping into the hair industry and just taking it by storm, learning from with someone, being their assistant, and then transitioning to having your own booth at a shop? Like, what made you say, I'm not getting a job, I am a job?
Really, I guess I had that drive from my parents because they were kind of like, they did have that entrepreneurial mindset. They had their own businesses. When I was growing up, they had different businesses that they were into. So I guess it was just kind of like I had to just trust that my work was going to be what it was, and I didn't have to go through the phase of I didn't know what I was doing and I'm just struggling. I kind of knew what I was doing and I just went with the flow, and it worked out for me. So
yeah. So given the fact that you are an entrepreneur and you do sell hair, you do hair, where do you see yourself like in the next 5 years in the hair industry? Like, do you see yourself putting on hair shows or expanding, having shops in multiple cities? Like, what do you see next?
In the next 5 years, I see myself having my own salon. I don't want to, if I'm going to be doing hair still, I want to be doing hair where I can probably do 1 client, 2 clients a day and go home to my family. And I don't have to worry about going to the shop and dealing with like 5, 6 different people every single day trying to make my money. I just can go in there and be okay with one person and I'm charging them the price. Like things are getting different with the micro links and tape-ins and all the other styles that are like the high price styles, like the high end, those are the things that are in style right now that people want. So
okay. So given that, how do you find new clients? Like, how do you find, I know that, like you just said, you have some high-end hairstyles. Not only that, you have hairstyles that may be a little cheaper, like, ponytails or 27 pieces, something like that, compared to microlinks. So how do you go out and you find that new client? Like, how do you find new clients? How do you search for new clients? And how do you adjust your price range in the hair industry? Because I do know that hair is a service-based job. So you're charging for your time at the end of the day. So how do you say, okay, well, if I'm doing a ponytail, that only take me 30 minutes. It's $75. Or I'm doing microlinks, that's going to take me 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's $350. Like, how do you adjust your pricing for my upcoming hairstylists or hairstylists out there that just don't know and they just go based off the market?
Well, you charge for your timing, but you also charge for the quality of your work. You know that your work is like gonna last. It's not no quick hairdo, or you know that you're confident in how you do hair, and you know that is just, they're gonna love their hair at the end of the day. You're gonna charge what you know you need to charge. It's gonna be worth it,
Yeah.
The money is gonna be worth, the hair is gonna be worth the money that you receive in the end of the day, because your time is important, but it's really the matter of how good you do when you do in their hair. Because there's clients out there that even come to you and they don't even come to you because you do good hair. They come to you for your personality. They come to you because of you look good and they want to look like you. They come to you because they get a good feeling being able to confide in you. When they come to talk to you, you just kind of like their therapist.
Yeah,
they don't always come to you for just because you know how to do good hair, or even if they feel like they might feel like that person's hairstyle is just not, they don't last that long and it's not all that, but They just gonna come to you because they feel like, you know, that's who they're comfortable with.
Okay. So in terms of growing your business and scaling your business, I know you've worked with some prominent people in the past. You've worked with Pretty B, local comedian out of Atlanta, Georgia. How was that experience? How were you able to connect with the celebrity? And is there any more celebrities that you desire to work with?
It was very nerve-wracking because that was my first celebrity client. And I actually got connected with doing that through my MUA Cachet.
Okay.
She did the before, and I guess she came back to Orlando for New Year's, and she wanted her makeup done and she wanted her hair done or touched up. So I got in good with her through that, and that was the only celebrity client I've ever had. But yeah,
Celebrity.
I mean, I've had one in the past, but she was younger. We got off of that. So
The cheerleading show.
I don't know what it was.
You went to
Disney?
Yeah,
I don't remember her name, but I did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, I'm gonna touch on that for my entrepreneurs out there. You don't remember her name. That is a big no-no in entrepreneurial world. We need to do follow-up. So in terms of even you doing Pretty B hair, like how often are you in communication with her? Do you keep in contact with her? Do you reach out to her every now and then? Even the celebrity that you did prior, the younger girl, I believe that you should go back to them and, actually reach out to them and like touch bases. Be like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I did your hair once in Orlando. Whenever you come back in the city, I have you,
Yeah, I mean, I don't do follow-ups really because it's very, that's something I could actually work on, but it is very rare that people come to Orlando. Like, it sounds crazy, but a lot of people will go to like other big, like they'll skip over Orlando, Florida, and they'll go to Miami, Florida, or Tampa. Like, they'll go to all these other places in Florida, but Orlando is not one of the bigger, that's not one of the places that people go to when they want to, they don't really go to Orlando like that. That I know of.
Okay, have you ever considered being a traveling hairstylist?
I have in the past, but it just never happened.
One last question before we close this section out. I would like to know, how important is brand ambassadors to you and your business? Like, do you check for social media following or engagement in order to determine who your brand ambassadors, and how reliable are brand ambassadors in the hair industry?
So there are a lot of brand ambassadors out there, but when you do that, I feel like it's best to do a contract when you have brand ambassadors, because it can easily get messy. Like, you can easily get to the point where you're doing you're doing their hair and you're doing a free install. They just gotta purchase the hair, or however you want to go about it. It can get messy if you don't have a contract for them, and you don't have like something to guide something to have structure with them coming to you and promoting you. Sometimes they don't promote as much as they should, or you feel like as much as they should. So I feel like it's best to have a contract when you do look for brand ambassadors before you just ask, hey, can you do, because a lot of them feel entitled.
Yeah.
They feel entitled and they feel like they can just get whatever they want, a free hairstyle, and they post you one time.
Yeah.
With that, when they've had their hairstyle in for a whole month or so.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the system that she has in place. She makes sure that she has contracts whenever she's working with brand ambassadors. So for those of you out there that's looking to work with brand ambassadors, influencers, make sure you set a contract in place and look over it with them before just agreeing to do a free service or a service for a lower cost.
But let me say this though, brand ambassadors do help a lot. When you find the right one, you will really see a growth in your business. You can like get posted by somebody that has a good amount of followers, or they're connected with a lot of people, and you can get 30 followers as soon as they shout you out or more. I've had that happen to me by Belle, Tokyo.
Okay.
I did her hair and she tagged me, and I had got like plenty of followers off of my hair page, and it depends on who you choose and who is connected to them.
Okay. Great. Well, now, guys, we're going to step into a section of Clever Questionnaire, where I'll be asking her some very important questions just to see how clever she is. So for this section of the interview, we are going to play a game called Clever Questionnaire, where I'll be asking Andrea some spicy questions just to see how clever she really is. So I'm going to start off like with you at the beginning. So during this game, the rules are you must answer the question with the word that begins with the letter C. So just to begin with, for example, if I asked you, what do you eat on your birthday? You may say cake. That's the answer. It begins with the word C. You can't say birthday cake because you're disqualified. You have to say cake. It must begin with the letter C. Okay, so just to begin with, what do your clients wear while you're doing their hair?
Clothes.
Oh, that's good. I was thinking cape. You know, you put a cape on every client.
Okay.
Another question would be, what way do you schedule your clients?
A calendar.
Great. One more question would be, what form of payments do you accept?
Credit cards.
Or cash. Thank you, Andrea, so much. You have now completed a round of Clever Questionnaire. With this, you received a $100 credit from Clever Connect to you because we always give credit when due. So with this $100, you are able to use this credit for any setup you desire. Maybe your grand opening to your new shop, maybe a date night setup, just anything you wish to use it for. You get a credit from us because we always give credit when due. And I just want to really give you your flowers while you're here because I believe that you are a very intelligent, smart, and strategic woman.
Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like you're a very creative hairstylist and you do go outside the box and you do more than the norm in order to engage with new clients and make them feel beautiful and make them look as nice. Like this hair right here, y'all, I love my hair. This is that Slay by Dre hair right here, y'all.
Yes.
Slay by Dre hair, Slay by Dre on the install. She got me right. I said, we doing the interview, I need to get right before, honey. And she got me right beforehand. I love your hair as well.
Yes.
Those are very nice micro links.
Talia did it, but from Slay by Dre.
Yeah, I definitely love that though.
Thank you.
But yeah, this is some good curly hair, y'all, and I just want to share that with y'all because y'all, my ladies out there, y'all know how curly hair can get. Curly hair can get nappy, knotted, tangled up. I ain't experienced that with this. I have not experienced that with this hair. Like, this is a good grade of curly hair. I really love the texture of this hair. I can literally just wet it and go, wash it and go, no problem.
She could flat iron it, bone straight. She could curl it. The hair does anything you want it to do.
Yeah, it's just
and
the
it'll go
beginning.
right back. It's just the beginning, so.
And that's another thing. She said that I can flat iron it bone straight. A lot of times with curly hair, it's very hard to get it bone straight. And even if you do get it bone straight, it's hard to get it back to its natural curl pattern. So I'm going to test that out. I'm going to test that out. And I'm going to keep y'all updated. Y'all make sure y'all go get some Slay by Dre. Follow her on Instagram. And stay updated with the latest. Because she coming out with some micro links real soon that I'm ready to get.
Yeah. What is your favorite time of the year to do setups?
I would have to say Valentine's Day. So being that Valentine's Day is coming up February 14th, make sure you book Clever Connect on Instagram.
And make sure you book Slay by Dre.
Slay by Dre.
The 7th through the 14th. I'm doing a special on frontal against sauce for $125.
My favorite time of the year to do setups, I would definitely have to say Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day is the time of the year last year that I made the most of my money. Like Valentine's Day weekend, I made majority of my money. Yeah, I had a pretty penny Valentine's Day. So I would say Valentine's Day is definitely my favorite time of the year to do setups because it's just so busy and it's everybody wants to feel love and everybody basically come to me in order to set up a nice setup for their significant others, their loved ones. I've done gala time setups before. I've also done like a setup for like a mother and her daughters. So I would just have to say that Valentine's Day is the best time of the year for me to do setups because it's very busy. That's just like a popular season for the party industry. Not only is it a popular season, but it's also the day that it's on. So last year Valentine's Day fell on a Sunday, so I had that whole weekend to do setups basically. This year Valentine's Day is falling on a Monday, so I literally have people that have booked me from the weekend before, which is the 11th through the 13th, and then they booked me on the 14th, which is that Monday, actual Valentine's Day. And then I also have people that have booked me the 19th through the 22nd for the weekend following Valentine's Day. So I just know that this year, being that it fell on a Monday, it's going to be very busy, very profitable, and Valentine's Day is just a good time of year for me. So for you, I would like to know, how do you know what is good hair? Like, what is a good grade of hair? Like good and bad.
When you're doing hair, like as a stylist, you get to a point where you just kind of like know off rip, and I guess you compare it with when you're using flat irons, like ceramic flat irons, the hot flat irons that get the hair bone straight. Mm-hmm. You have some hair that's so cheap that when you flat iron the hair, you're using good flat iron, like I said, like going up to 450 degrees.
Right.
If that hair, the split ends are just rising up and it's not going bone straight like it's supposed to just go straight, if the hair is like burning on the flat iron or anything like that, that's how you know the hair is not good.
What grade is that?
It doesn't really have like the numbers and stuff. That's not real. It's just something that they go by when they're trying to, I guess, compare like the cheaper hair versus the more expensive hair. But the grades are really something that they just use to, I guess, compare. But when it comes to like I'm talking about, when I say grade, I mean like the feel of the hair and the actual like, you know, just the feel of the hair. You can also know by like if you dye the hair and the hair does not bleach as light as it's supposed to. Real hair is supposed to bleach up to like a level 10, which is blonde, like real blonde, like the real blonde. It's supposed to bleach up to that level. If it doesn't bleach up to that level, or it can't get any like higher than that, or just to that level, that hair is more than likely not good hair. And a lot of times people do want their hair to be colored, and it just doesn't do what it needs to do. So that's kind of how you can tell, just doing test strands with the color and just like, you know, styling. If you curl the hair and the curls don't last as long as they should, you can tell by that. Just there's different ways you can kind of tell, but those are the two main ways that you can tell if the hair is good or not.
So for my people out there that may not know the grades, what is the highest grade of hair they should ask for?
If they are going by grades, like if they're going by grades and they're doing like, you know, 10A and stuff like that, I guess I could say 10A is like the highest grade. Or do they go by like 12A? I don't know. Like those are the highest grades. Anything higher than 10. But when you're going by like raw versus virgin, yeah. Virgin hair is usually like, that's the cheaper hair. That's the hair that's you're not gonna keep in for that long when you're using your neck. That's not the hair that you want. You really want raw hair, which is the hair that I sell, like that's cut from real people. Like that's their real hair. And you can keep that hair for like 5+ years. You can reuse that hair for a long time. Like the hair that's in her head, she can keep that hair for 5 years and more. And she can wash it, she could dye it however however cut, whatever color she wants. She could dye it like Beyonce. How Beyonce do her blondes, she could dye it like that. And it'll still have the same texture and it'll still look good.
Y'all know I'm Queen B too. That's Brown and J on
Girl.
Instagram.
Look at him. All right. So
The gag is we haven't been putting a token.
I know.
on anything.
I was thinking that.
So to put one in. Okay. My turn. So what advice, I would like to know, what advice do you have for inspiring hairstylists, upcoming hairstylists? What are some words of advice you would like to leave with them? A token of wisdom.
I would say always be polite and remember that the clients are not always right.
So you like Publix, a Chick-fil-A. Y'all.
I said always be polite, but the clients are not always right.
Oh, but the clients are not
The
always.
clients are not always right.
Oh, okay.
As a hairstylist, you have to know that in order to keep your clients coming back and in order for them to respect you as a hairstylist, you have to know that you have to be able to run your business as it's your business. You can never let them overstep or feel like they know what they're talking about some clients do know what they're talking about when it comes to hair, but if you're a good hairstylist and you know what you're talking about, you have to make sure that you tell your client, hey, you know, you might need to trim this time, or hey, you need to shampoo, your hair is not as clean as it should before we get this install. Those are the things that you should know as a stylist, and those are the things that will make you a great stylist. You just have to be on top of your stuff, and just know that a lot of times these clients will try to run you in your business and make you feel like you just don't, you don't want to do hair anymore, but just don't let it get to that point, because as long as you stay professional, as long as you stay on top of your stuff, and as long as you know what you're talking about, you will last long in this industry.
Right. Okay. Another question that I have for you is, how, for my ladies out there that's actually trying to grow their hair, or that's in the transition stage from perm to natural, or just start to actually love their natural, how do they grow their hair? Like for women like that, women like me, I want to grow my hair. What are some things that I can do to grow my hair, and what are some things that you shouldn't do when you're in the process of trying to grow your hair?
Okay, so for us Black women, we have to, one thing we have to stop doing is washing our hair so often. It sounds crazy, but you're not supposed to wash your hair every day. You're not supposed to wash your hair every 2 days, every 3 days. You're supposed to really wash your hair like every 2 times a month. Mm-hmm. So maybe after 2 weeks, that's when you need to wash. Unless you have really bad dry scalp, or if you have a lot of dandruff, like your buildup gets really bad, you need to wash your hair more often. But if you on a regular basis, you really don't need to wash your hair that much, like 2 times a week. So that can help your hair growth. If you just like let your hair kind of just grow out, if you keep washing it, it'll dry your hair out. Mm-hmm. In certain shampoos, you need to know what certain shampoos, which shampoo is for cleaning your hair versus which shampoo is for moisturizing your hair, whatever, there are different types of shampoos out there for actually doing the process of washing your hair. That helps with your hair growth. And then when it comes to like oiling and greasing your scalp or doing protein treatments, those are things that can help your hair grow. Deep treatments, hot oil treatments, all of those things will help your hair grow.
Okay.
And letting your hair breathe. I know I do weaves, but a lot of times my clients will come every month. They never take their hair out. They never give their hair a chance to breathe. That is very important when you are wanting your hair to grow, because yes, the braids can help your hair grow, but you want your hair to be able to breathe, because it's really your hair. Like, it's not supposed to be up under something 24/7.
Yeah.
It's alive. You gotta let it breathe and get some fresh air. It's just like if you have makeup on 24/7, you can't expect your skin to just be perfect because you're not letting your skin breathe.
Right. So in terms of protective styles, what are some good protective styles that you should use?
Braids.
Braids.
Braids. Or,
Okay.
you know, but just make sure that the braids are not too tight.
Well,
I would say knotless braids are the best right now.
Okay, because I was going to say, in
Yeah.
terms of braids, what if I have braids under my wig?
And see,
that
that's
considered?
That's not considered, because when you have knotless braids or any braids that are done that are, they're seen like they're open, your scalp is open.
Right.
Your scalp is not being put under some weave or put under anything that's like gonna cover up your hair, your real hair. So those are protective styles, because you know your hair can actually breathe with those type of braids. But
Okay. Your turn.
what is something that you would like to branch off? Would you like to branch off and do anything besides doing decorating?
Yes, so currently right now, I'm actually in the process of studying for a huge test that I have coming up. A few months ago, I took a class that this class should definitely put me in a better position in life in terms of if I want to, you know, start a brokerage or anything like that. And yeah, I'm definitely in preparation for it. So, you know, I love y'all and y'all my family, but I can't tell y'all too much. But when I do pass my test, make sure y'all will be the first to know. Okay.
Girl, I didn't even know.
Oh
my God. Okay.
Time for a juicy question. Okay. So, in terms of salon life, we know that working with women sometimes can be very catty, correct? So working with women can sometimes be very catty, and sometimes shops aren't always the best atmosphere, because you have a lot of different personalities, and then you also have a lot of different views when you're working in a certain environment like that, with a lot of women, vocal women with opinions. So how do you know when it's time for you to like leave a salon, or how do you know when it's time for you to branch off and open your own beauty salon and set certain boundaries, or like come up with certain rules and put certain rules and stuff in place in order to grow your salon?
Well, when it comes to branching off, and like if you have to make the decision to leave a salon, I feel like it has to get to a point where your energy is being put into a more negative, like you feel like your energy is taking too much energy for you to stay there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You know, if you're not getting along with somebody there, or you feel like, you know, you can't afford it, or, you know, you just feel like it's not the environment that you want to really be in, that's when you kind of just feel like you need to go and just do your own thing. And that's just the circumstances sometimes working with a bunch of women. You gotta be mindful that there's different zodiac signs, there's different
traits and personalities,
different ways people grew up. All of us women have, you know, Mother Nature. So all of that stuff plays a part in just, you know, salons, like that type of energy. It's just different working in a salon full of women. But when it comes to like having your own salon, you really just, I mean, I feel like for me, when I do have my own salon, I want my salon to just be just beautiful. Like I want it to just, when people come in, I want them to enjoy the experience. I want them to feel like, you know, it's just, from one, the appearance is everything for me. I don't want anything in there to look like out of place. I want it to be very just me, like, you know, my personality to be put into the salon, and I want everyone there to have good energy. I want us to feel like a family and not feel like, you know, we all in competition or anything like that, and we all want to see each other grow. and we all want to support each other. And I feel like that's a lot of times that's hard to do when you're in the same industry. You kind of want to be supportive of other people, but you also have to stay in your own lane and focus on you.
Right.
So putting that together sometimes is hard, but I mean, when you have good energy, you really know that you know, you can focus on you, but also help others. You don't have to just be all about yourself, because I feel like that's how you kind of get your blessings. Like helping other people in life, you're gonna have a lot of great things happen to you when you do help people and really care about people,
right,
instead of just being all about you. So
yeah,
that's how I kind of want my salon to be.
yeah, that's perfect. I think that's awesome. I just wanted to ask that question because I know a lot of people may feel as if solo salons or salon suites are probably more better or profitable in terms of the hair industry. So I just want to know, how is it like the atmosphere in terms of a full salon with full staff or a salon? Yeah, personal
That
salon.
right there is like, I've never been in a salon suite where it was like my own thing. I really did want to go to that. I wanted to do that, but for one, it's like, if you're trying to save money, it's better to be in an open salon versus a salon suite, because a lot of times salon suites are like, you running you $1,000 something every month, and versus a salon, like an open salon, of course you're gonna pay way less than you're paying in a suite.
Yeah.
But if you are in a suite, it is more private, and it might be a lot better because you don't have to worry about all these different personalities,
Right.
and everybody using your products or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be better, but I mean, it's just however you want to deal with it. So.
Okay, well that's awesome. I want to say thank you for joining us on Clever Connect today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hey y'all, so today's video was sponsored by Slay by Dre. Make sure you check out her bundles on her website and also her Valentine's Day special. Tell them about it.
So I'm having a Valentine's Day special February 7th through the 14th. I will be doing frontal installs for $125.
And make sure y'all check out Clever Connect. We have setups going crazy right now. Hotel hideaways, Valentine's Day picnic setups, and then we also have picnics in the park, dinner setups. Anything you need, we got it. Check us out.